Cheers. Episode 10.
Episode 11. Take 2. So we just recorded for a while and I didn't have a microphone. So we're back.
Here we are.
And we're going to do it again. Welcome
right.
to episode 11. Our lesson session on financial stewardship. We just completed a life session. And so here we are on financial stewardship, which is going to be my least favorite of all the topics.
And we were just having a great conversation about financial stewardship. Mm-hmm. But
it started with how when we were doing our retreat.
Yes.
Planning for season 2, we kind of were praying and talking about things that we wanted to talk about, things we wanted to discuss, and things that we're passionate about. And I think financial stewardship is where that's your world. That's the world you live in. That's the world you walk in. That's the world you're passionate about. Not my world, which is okay. And so,
yeah, when we cover like topics, like biblical topics, that's sort of like
talk about
different.
Crazy lady, fat friend. Like, that's my topics. And so you really felt like the Lord wanted you to do. We wanted to have a series, month episodes on financial stewardship and really what God's Word says about it, and some practical steps. And as hard as it's going to be for me, because it's not. Not only is it not an area that I'm comfortable with, it's not an area I'm good at, it's an area we've struggled with. So it's going to be rough. But if I'm struggling with it, there are other people that are. And that's where I think
we talk about that, like in our world at Legacy Trust, that everybody talks about. Everybody struggles with money, either not necessarily in a bad way, but people struggle to talk about it in their marriages. Because everybody brings baggage into a conversation about money, right? It just is one of those things that goes very, very deep, because your parents fought about money or your parents didn't fight about money. And God puts a saver and a spender together. And God puts, right? Like there's always, like money brings up a lot of conflict. And I think that's why, for me, it's so important that we talk about it, because we see it. And it doesn't matter if you have $25 million or
$25,
$2,000. Like there's still conversations about like it's such an identifier.
It is.
Right?
It really is.
And it's I think that's why the Bible talks about it. There's 2,300 verses that address money, wealth, possessions, or stewardship.
That's crazy.
That's more than prayer, faith, heaven, and hell combined.
And from a marriage counseling side, which, Sean and I do marriage counseling a lot, 3 main things you talk about. And it's money, right? And then it's family. Those are the type of things.
Money, and money.
Right. I mean, and it's really the number one thing that couples struggle with is money. I mean, when I look over our life, the biggest struggles Sean and I have had have been about money a lot of the time. So it's there. So,
and I think that's why the Bible addresses it, because it runs so deep. And, if you don't talk about it up front, that's a problem. Right in our first date, I was like, my parents fought about money, and so I'm not going to ever talk. I work my tail off, so I'm never going to be in a relationship where I fight about money. I'm like, I didn't even know this person, right? I'm sure he was like, what? But, his parents fought about money. So it was like, oh, okay. We're not going to fight about money. And we have, obviously, because, at Legacy, we call them money messages, right? There's a message behind everything. There's a message behind being generous. And you were talking about, before we realized we weren't mic'd up.
Yeah.
It's so hard to be generous and not think it comes with an attachment.
Right. And that's where I've learned with life work. And again, I'm not good in the money section. And again, I've been in education and ministry. There's not money in that. So I'm not around money people. But when I took over life work, I all of a sudden became...
Yeah, money's important.
Money was everything.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a nonprofit. You got to raise money, you have sponsors, you don't, all the stuff. And I quickly learned how money influenced life work and influenced me, good and bad.
Yeah.
People would give money and then there were strings attached. Or people would give money and even if they didn't attach a string, I would feel obligated because, oh my gosh, they just gave me all this money. I'd never handed anybody. Nobody ever handed me that money. So now I make decisions differently because I'm like, oh, this person gave money, this person didn't. And I don't mean to, but it's a new world for me to walk in. And to you and Rodney, though, this was what I started to say, and I want to make sure I say it because you're very complimentary of me in so many ways. And this is an area where you and Rodney, I think, have done amazingly well as you've given to LifeWork your time, you've given your talent, and you've given your treasure. And you guys have done it in a way that I look at and I think, I hope someday I get to give as much as you guys have given. But even if I don't and I give $10, I want to do it the way that you guys have done it. You've done it very well. And I was telling Creed last night, because Creed is my kid that's the business major, and he's graduating in May,
right.
and he is convinced he's going to be a multimillionaire, and he's going to make my life easy. And
Right.
now it's all about money for him.
Yes.
And I used you guys as an example about if you get to a place, Creed, that you are making money and God is good, you got to be able to give that away well. And you guys do that well. I mean, and
Thank you.
again,
That's nice of you to say. I don't think
you give it away, but also like Laura and Scotty and people, you've given your time and the gifts that God's blessed you guys with. Not even financial. I mean, just things. You've been so generous with them, and you guys have done it well. And
no, thank you.
So
I appreciate
kudos
that.
to you.
But it is, I think that God has changed that in our hearts, right? It was never that easy.
Right.
Now, I mean, certainly, like, I'm a giver in general, but I mean, like, all of a sudden you're talking about giving money. They're like, but wait, we might need that. But we have to pay our kids' college tuition. We can't do that, right? I mean, and because Rodney and I are both involved in the industry, we're very practical too. Like we you know, we have a pretty good sense of what our budget is. We have a pretty good sense of what we spend. And, you know, so it was like all of a sudden when we started talking about tithing, which the Bible talks about, you know, it was like, well, we have to do all these things first. And it was like, no, I think we're supposed to start and then we'll do all these things. And
And I think it's probably harder when you have money. And I mean, by saying have money, I mean when you're at a place in your life where you're saving some money and you're putting some money aside and you're not robbing Peter to pay Paul, all of a sudden then to start we should be tithing and we should be.
Right.
I started tithing when I was born.
Yeah.
So tithing was never an issue for me. Not that we tithe as much, but it's
doesn't-
never been an issue for me
Right.
because from the time, I mean, my parents would pay me an allowance and they would take back the 10%, like cash it out and cash it in
Right.
because that was going to tithe. So tithe wasn't hard for me because it's something I've
just
always done.
Right.
But for you guys coming into tithing
Yeah.
later in life after you've been established had to be really hard.
Like my parents, my whole life wrote a check to church every single Sunday, and it went in a little envelope, and but we never talked about it. We never said as a percentage. We never learned about that
That
at
concept.
all. And so, I mean, I think, you know, everybody thinks. I think there's so many perceptions and money message that come through. And so much of it is what's internal to us that we project then on other people, right? Like it's easy to say somebody that's a legacy client that has $10 million, well, they have it all, right? And you're like, but you have no idea what their life looks like, right? Their life may not. They'd trade every single penny
Dollar.
to get back whatever.
Right.
They're
a wayward child,
right,
or a parent
whatever.
that
Exactly,
passed, or
exactly.
a marriage that was dissolved because of money,
because
or
of it.
all the stuff. Right.
Exactly. So I think it's very easy to see the external of money and not, you know, it's like we talked about last time, like the genuineness of but God and how does God provide? It's very hard to say we had nothing and not nothing in terms of dollars, but we had nothing, whether it's in terms of a faith walk or it's in terms of, you know, how we lived our lives from a spiritual perspective until we then started tithing and God gave us an abundant life, right? Like it's definitely I think we don't talk about that part. We talk about, oh my gosh, God has blessed us so much, and we have the ability to do a lot of things and be generous in a lot of places. But I appreciate you saying that. But
now, just know you guys do it well, and I know
you.
it's been a journey for you. We've talked about it a lot, but you and Rodney and your family have arrived at a place where I think and maybe that's a topic we can talk about in a little bit, or even at, the laughter session or something when we get past the legends, but really practical steps on how you guys got there. Because I have now received financial money from people as a nonprofit often, and it's not always done well. And I don't think they're intentionally meaning it to be not done well, or they intentionally mean to have strings attached, or maybe I don't handle it well, but that would be a great conversation on how you guys have gotten to a place where I think you do it really well.
Thank you.
So
from a lot of mishaps.
And that's it. That's your inspire. Inspires from how you screwed it up.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's talk about the bad stuff.
But we do need to give a shout out to Legacy Trust, which is where we're at, like a sponsor. And so before you get into maybe some of the biblical things, tell us a little bit about Legacy.
We decided to have a sponsor. That's Legacy Trust, which doesn't mean anything from a financial perspective, but it sounds good. And so,
your commercial Legacy Trust is a
Legacy Trust is a family wealth office. We started coming up on 24 years ago. It'll be 24 years in August, and we do estate planning, we do wealth management, we do financial plans. We really help people. Most of our clients have been first generation wealth that have had either they've saved well, or they've had stock options, or they've had some sort of financial event that then they really don't know how to do this. They don't know how to talk to their kids about money. They don't know how to talk to each other about money, and all of a sudden they have it. And so we spend a lot of our time on that education and those money messages, and how do we talk to our kids, and how do we talk to our grandkids, and what's important to us, and trying to get those values to come through in everything that we do, whether it's your estate plan, your financial plan, or how we manage the money. So anyway.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, and a second sponsor, Hippo Lakes.
That's right. Look at Hippo
Anybody
Lakes.
wants to go to South Africa and you're in Pretoria, you should go to Hippo Lakes. I wore my Hippo Lakes shirt today.
You can meet our elephant.
It's our second
you
sponsor,
can meet our
Hippo.
Not our elephant. You can meet our hippo.
What was her name?
Named Nellie.
No,
Henrietta.
Henrietta. I was like, her. Yeah, Henrietta the Rock.
Henrietta the Rock. She's so inspiring.
Yes. So good.
So inspiring. We're so grateful.
Okay,
so here we go.
Money management, financial stewardship, and God's Word.
I'm going to try to give us a brief little overview, and then we can talk about what that looks like, and some of the verses that I think we know, but that we don't always like.
And this is interesting because I think we both know the verses.
Yeah.
And these are verses that you would use to build your business. Like God's Word says this. And these would be the exact same verses that I have to tell myself to get through the struggles of the money.
Yeah.
So the same verse is used as this is our mission statement for the business.
Yeah.
And the same verse is used in my life as ooh.
Well, I mean, we hear all the time, the Bible is both a map and a mirror, right? And these verses,
that's so good.
these verses hit these things as, I think, both, depending on where you are and what the lens that we're looking through. So anyway, 2,300 verses address money, wealth, possessions, or stewardship. More than prayer, faith, heaven, and hell combined. Jesus talks about money more than any other topic. 1 out of every 10 verses is in the Gospels is about money.
Something with money.
What?
I mean, he clearly knew it was going to be an issue.
Sheesh.
Not just for me.
I know. I was like, that's a lot.
It's a lot of talk about money.
I don't even know what 2,300 divided by 365 is, but it's
a lot.
It's a lot.
Several a day.
It's something it's just
it's almost 4 a day.
Every waking hour. You have to go read a verse about money. So, and I think I see it in everyday life because of what we do. And not everybody's a believer, right? Not everybody's a Christian, but I see money is a heart issue, right? Money is a trust issue, right? Money's a discipleship issue. And then it also becomes a justice issue, right? Am I using my money justly? And what is my money saying? So, it's really a clear indication of where we stand heart-wise on everything around us, every single situation. So I think Jesus sort of knew that.
He did.
Yeah. So he decided to not avoid it.
And talk about it often.
Reveal to us how it should be. So we're going to read a verse.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
And we're going to talk about what we think about this verse. The love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. I know you've never heard this verse before, but How does that hit you?
Well, and as many times as that verse has been preached, and truthfully, again, the vulnerability on my side, money is my trigger.
Yeah.
We hate the
Yes,
word trigger,
yes.
right? But that's my
Triggers,
trigger.
yeah.
It is mine where I just go from 0 to 180 when it's about money. And the verse is always taught about the love of money
Yes.
is the root of all evil.
Right.
Money itself is not the evil.
Exactly.
It's not the money.
No
that piece
different
of
than this
paper,
chair.
right? That piece of paper cannot
Right.
hurt me. It is my love of money. And it is my need for money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where that verse has always been hard for me, because it's a security blanket for me
Yeah.
that I've never felt like I've had enough of, or I'm never secure enough in it. And I can say all the stuff. I know that I am in the 1% of the richest people in the world, and that there are
Right.
people that, I mean, I know all the stuff, but I still look at the checkbook and I'm like, there's not enough.
Doesn't feel like that.
It doesn't, I don't have enough to
Right.
do what I want to do. And so,
Right.
it is
Right.
it is a control issue for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
I
trust
think it's
issue.
I think it's always, no matter where you land on that,
Mm-hmm.
it's a trust issue and a control issue for all of us. Money is
Mm-hmm.
money. Period. It can say, you know, the love of X, you know, but it's the love of money
Mm-hmm.
that is the root of all evil. And I think it's I don't feel like like if you died tomorrow, there was enough money,
Right.
Because it got you here today,
Got me here, right.
Right. I mean,
Right.
like it does.
And it says the love of money is the root of
All.
all evil.
Yeah.
So you can track money
Yeah.
is at the love of money is at the core of every sin,
Yeah.
of every evil, even in my own life.
Yeah.
Like when I look at all the things that I do wrong, truthfully, they
They tie
stem
back.
from money.
Right.
At their core,
Yes.
it's money, which so stinks.
Right.
Ugh.
Well, and Rodney and I had a discussion about Christmas presents. And, you know, it was, I immediately, he said, well, that's a lot to spend on that, right? And I was like, what?
Right.
Like, I mean, I lost my mind, right? In my head, I lost my mind. I tried not to lose it verbally, but I felt like I did. And, you know, I'm like, so you don't trust me? And like it all came back to because you think that's a lot. Like it was stupid. It was so stupid. But it
does.
comes
I mean,
back
pride.
to
You look
trust.
at-
You don't trust me, so
Right.
because of money. I mean, like what?
Pride. I mean, you look at social media and everybody's posting. It's all the stuff you have,
Yeah.
which is just showing your neighbor, or
Right.
jealous of what your neighbor has. Jealousy,
Yes.
envy. It's
Yeah.
because of things they have, which come from money. I mean,
And
you could go to the 7 deadly sins, and they're all going to be tied back to money
Yeah.
in some way, which is probably why the Lord said it 2,300
2,300 times. Yeah.
because
I
I
know.
clearly
It's
didn't
very
get it the
scary.
first 2,299.
Well, and I think, you know, if you're trying to unlove something, which if the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, the opposite of that
Right.
was like the
unlove
unloving
money.
of money. And, you know, practically speaking, that's very hard to do because we were working our tails off so that we can send our kids to college and we can do this and we can get gas and we can have a house, you know, like, so it's,
But is it easier for some people to unlove money?
some people don't love money.
I mean, I don't think my
Yeah.
husband loves money.
Yeah, no, I
Money
think
isn't
there's,
his trigger.
Yeah.
And I use that word because
Yeah.
it's just it is literally, you
Yeah.
start talking about money and I can feel my blood
Yeah.
pressure raise.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not a thing for him.
Yeah, I think there are some people that really, really genuinely it's not important to. I think there's other people that say it's not important to them. Like Sean would figure it out. He was like, I'll figure it out. But there are other people that say they don't love money, but it does dictate their lives. So I think, you know, biblically speaking, from a Christian perspective, I think, you know, admitting that money plays some sort of role and there's a money message and there's a history that I have to deal with, that my parents gave me money messages, whether they bought you a car or they didn't buy a car. There's a money message there. Whether you know, had to work when you were 16 to put yourself through college or you didn't, there's money messages there. Like it doesn't,
I don't know if my parents gave me a money message. They've done money well.
yeah, you don't think so?
I mean,
Well, they gave you money
gave
messages about tithing.
They did give me money message.
I mean,
but I mean,
that's a
I was
great
going to
money
say I didn't
message.
think they gave me bad money. Like
It doesn't mean it's bad.
they managed money well, and I didn't. So
Yeah.
I didn't get the message from them.
But it was maybe in their lack of messaging that wasn't so good.
Yeah, I
And like
don't
they
know.
didn't necessarily teach you. Like my parents didn't. Did I say this already? I don't know if this is this time. Like my parents gave money to church every week.
Right.
I have no idea. Like if it. Like they didn't teach us. Like our parent generation doesn't teach us.
I think I missed the lesson.
Huh?
I mean, I think it's on me. Like, I think they taught me to tithe. They taught me to save. They worked hard.
Yeah.
They had their cash thing. They told me don't overspend. And I think I did it wrong.
Is there like a point that you feel like in your life you just were like, I don't have to live by those rules anymore? Like, because you had some, I don't know,
I think we had success early
success. Yeah.
in our first business. And by success in our community, it was a very
Yeah.
successful business.
Yeah.
And I think I love stuff. And for the first time, I had money.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't have money, but we were always
Right.
very blue
Yeah.
collar, middle class.
Right. Yeah.
You saved money to be able to go this far on vacation.
Right.
So it was lessons that were taught
Right.
that were good.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I think my husband and I woke up and we were successful.
Yeah.
And
we could do whatever.
we just enjoyed life and didn't plan for the rainy day.
Yeah.
And then the rainy day hit. 2008 came and the rainy day hit.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like that's when I woke up to the reality of, oh, I didn't do this well.
Yes. Well, we have a question about that. Hold on. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance. This would be Proverbs
And that would have
21.
been the opposite when you don't plan.
Right. So budgeting, saving, and thoughtful planning aren't unspiritual, they're wise. And I think that happens a lot. We have clients over the years. I've had clients at SunTrust, and I mean, I've had clients that get $50,000 a month out of their account, and they can't live on it.
They can't live on it. Like that's not enough, or
Yeah.
they can't spend it.
No, they can't live on it. Like it's not enough. Right? So it's not but you know how hard it is to tell somebody that's getting $50,000 a month for long periods of time to be able to look at them and say, no matter what we do from an investment perspective, you're going to run out of money in 6 years. Like we don't have any fancy calculations when we're taking that much money out of your account. I mean that is not wisdom, right? I mean that's just a feed me now, feed me now, feed me now, feed me now, right? So
And that was us. I mean, in a smaller scale, but I
Yeah.
think and you see that with like professional athletes.
yes,
That they're young, they're
100%.
20, and they're making millions of dollars, and then they retire at 30 and they're bankrupt.
Right.
And you're like, how could you be bankrupt? I can look at them and be like, how can you do that?
Yeah.
But on a smaller scale, I think that's
Yeah.
what we did.
yeah,
We
yeah.
just didn't plan.
It's
We got excited that we finally had money and
Right.
we built a house
Thought
and
it
we
was
bought a
gonna go
car and we were
forever.
like, woo! And then,
Right.
the economy changed and we were young and didn't
Yeah.
plan. I mean, it was on us.
Yeah.
And we are still now, 20 years later, not out of the hole that we dug ourselves.
yeah, yeah. And
Which
so
is
I
on
think.
us.
Well,
So-
but I think like the Bible's right about these things.
The love of money.
right?
We got money and
The
we
love-
loved it.
Yeah, yeah, and failed to stick to a plan.
Right, didn't
right,
have a
which is
plan.
why I love what we do, which is no matter how much money you have. We had a 10-year-old in here today, bringing her. She brought us cash, which we don't even know what to do with cash.
Right.
Right.
Where do I
I'm
put
like,
that?
can we deposit this? She opened an account with her mom, and she brought $1,200 to invest. And she said, I heard Warren Buffett. My dad told me that Warren Buffett started investing when he was 10, and I'm 10. So I think that. So we had this whole conversation with her. Is this long-term money? Are you going to buy a bike? And you want, and so I love that we can start then and make a plan.
I look back now and think if I'd have had you in my life,
Yeah, right.
I
Making a
get
plan.
teary because it would have changed
Yeah,
everything.
Right. I mean, I tell you,
If I would have been smarter then,
Yeah.
and had somebody, and not that my parents didn't. They were
Right.
my parents were amazing with this, but truly somebody that stepped in that I knew that said, Tammy, listen, you're having success now.
Yeah, we have
you
to
got
plan.
to plan. You got
Yeah.
to plan. Like
Right.
building the big house
Right.
on the top of the hill. That's the best house in the
Right.
city. Is probably not the smartest thing. Although it was a nice house. We lived in it for a
loved it.
year. Like, it
We
was
had a
great.
great
It was
party.
Super fun for a year.
We loved it.
Probably not
But
the
that's
smartest
tr- I
thing.
mean-
wasn't
But
smart about it.
But that's part of wisdom, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's part of aging. That's part of what you should tell your kids
Yeah.
is,
Well-
you know what? If you get $1,000, you should save half of it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's great books
Yeah.
about this kind of stuff
Yeah.
that we try to teach because yes, it's
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
without a plan,
Yep.
right? But
Well,
we
and
have a plan
that's-
now.
You
You're
hear
saving-
in church a lot about don't let your past
Dictate your future.
dictate your future. And
Yeah.
we talk about that in the sense of if you were an addict or if you were in this.
Yeah.
But no one ever says if you screwed up with your money.
Right.
Right.
Let it
I've
go.
never been good at letting it go. Like I hold
Right.
it and feel guilty about
Right.
it. And there's a
Yeah.
piece of that's like, man, let go of the money too.
Right. But what a great thing, actually. Like, I never thought about it like that. But addicts have to say, every day's a new day, right? And my past doesn't define me. So, like, what a great thing to apply to money,
Right.
actually. Like, does it really matter? Now you know better.
Right.
Like, without lessons, it's like if you have a pothole on your street, you're going to hit it once, but then the next time you're going to go a little bit to the right and you might hit part of it, but the third time you're certainly going to miss the pothole.
Yes. And no, in the sense of an addict, you tend to go back to making the mistakes for a while.
Yeah.
Like I can look back at 2008
Right.
when the economy tanked and I didn't plan for it and our business, 4 locations and we messed up.
Yeah.
I came down to Florida and bought a house. It always came to the house for me.
Yeah.
That was over my budget then. Like
Yeah,
I didn't
right.
learn.
Right.
You would have thought I would have learned from that. Like I clearly knew, oops. And I came into this and thought, I still bought a big house. And it was 10 years into that house where I was like, oh snap.
Yeah.
I did it again.
Right.
And so I didn't learn from my first trip in the pothole or
But
my
that's
second.
okay.
And now I'm living in a trailer.
But it's the third. You have your third
Learning.
opportunity, and you're saving 50% of
I
all
am
your new
saving
money.
50% of new money. I'm trying.
That's cool.
Not much, but I'm trying.
That's okay. It doesn't matter.
But it is, that's,
But you
I've
can't be
never heard
critical of
anybody
that.
say that about like an addict. And not
Yeah.
that I guess I was addicted to the money in the sense that.
But it is like, right? It's redemptive, right?
There is
like,
redemption in
God
that,
is not
yeah.
looking at you and saying,
You saw it.
"Yeah, Tammy, you screwed up in 2008. Like we're going to keep that going back there, right? When it's your issue, it's your issue,
Yeah.
right? And so I love that.
Yeah.
Every day's a new day.
Every day's a new day.
We don't have to talk about where your
there
treasure
was
is. There,
another-
your heart is also. we can skip that
Clearly
one.
mine is in a house, and I don't know why.
Okay, let's not talk. We won't talk.
There
about
was
that
another verse.
Which ones would you like to talk about?
God loves a cheerful giver.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
What do we do with that when you're not cheerfully giving?
I truthfully, I think one of those is like you fake it till you make it, right? It's like everything else when God says, one of the spiritual gifts is joy, and sometimes you don't feel like you have joy, and you got to tell yourself, I'm going to go to church and I'm going to worship, and that's going to bring me joy. I'm good. Like, I think you have to keep giving, even if it's $5, right? You have to keep giving until it just becomes such a habit that then God and the Holy Spirit can make it joyful. Like, you can't say, I'm going to be cheerful today, right? You wake up and you're like, Lord, I need your help to make me cheerful today. You have to do the same thing to be a cheerful giver and say, I want to do this in the Lord's honor. Like, this doesn't belong to me, right? This is only God glorifying. I have it. I don't even know why he gave it to me. Why did he bless me with this? So, like, I should just, I don't, like, it's okay. Like, I'm giving, like, I think it takes a long time to get there from, this is so hard, I need to be a cheerful giver, to being a cheerful giver. Like, that's a pursuit of spirit of, what am I trying to say? Not spiritual gifts.
Discipline.
Yeah, it's a search for those spiritual disciplines, and you don't just say, you know what, I'm going to do a fast, and you start with a 5-day fast.
Right.
You think, okay, I'm going to fast in the morning, and I'm going to fast from 6 to 12, right? And so I think you have to flex and train that muscle.
I mean, I have given my whole life.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a
Right.
discipline. I give.
Yeah.
We tithe. I don't do it cheerfully.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me to give still. I mean, 35 years into my walk
Yeah.
with the Lord, 40 years into my walk with the Lord. And it's still very difficult for
Yeah.
me to give. I do it.
Right.
I don't know if I do it cheerfully. Like Sean does it cheerfully.
Yeah.
You know, I look at the widow's mite. That's the story.
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
I've studied
Oh, yeah.
forever. I mean, and she gave of everything, and it wasn't much, but she gave it
Right.
willingly. And I think,
Right.
oof, I don't do that well.
Yeah.
I got to do that better. Maybe that's a goal one of these years is to give more. I mean, this year I'm giving off my gross, which was huge.
I think it's like that's a
big step for
That's
me.
a good thing. And you know what? You then have to say, like, okay, I'm doing this for the year, and you got to go back and say, look what God did. Right? I think it's very easy when it comes to money and our personalities. It seems like we talk about our personalities a lot, but we want it to be perfect, and it's a process, right? I think like you have to go back and say, like, I need a little pat on the back because I did this, and you know, we did it off our gross, and we survived. And look, you have to give God the glory that you could do it.
It's a tough one. I mean,
It
I
is.
give
That's-
grace in all the areas, but when it comes to
I
money,
know.
it is tough.
Well-
It's a tough one.
You know, she out of her poverty put it all. Yeah,
That's
the
part of
widow's
it too.
mite.
Is culturally, we live. I always say this is my excuse. It'd be so much easier if I lived in Zimbabwe, but when you live in Ponte Vedra,
Right.
and it's all around you, and all the
Yeah.
stuff and all the things, it's much harder.
But I also think that's going to be anywhere.
I am.
I
That's
don't
my
think
excuse.
that it's the root of the problem is not where you live. The root of the problem is what's your
my
heart is, right? But since we talked about this, plans fail for a lack of counsel. So I think you have a plan, and your plan is like going to be different, right? And so like when you do this for a year and you're saving off new money, and we run a plan, you're going to be like, oh, look, if we keep doing this for 5 more years, look what's going to happen, right? I mean, it's such a confidence builder. It's like no different than at LifeWork. You wouldn't open a coffee shop without a plan. Well, you might, but
You open
we
5.
did.
It's all
But like we strategic plan for a reason, right? So anyway, but there are some things that like are supposed to make us feel better, like do not worry, your Father knows what you need.
That's the tough one.
And to me, the worry part is hard. Like, I'm not a worrier, but Rodney worries about money. And he can make money. He makes more money than me. He makes it easier. He's smarter than me. Like, all these things, and he still worries about money. And his verse, I shall tell you what the verse that we've have focused on for a very long time, which is, where does it say this? Hold on, sorry. It's the one about a good parent leaves an inheritance or something.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, the Bible says, where is that? I should highlight this. Oh, a good person leaves an inheritance. And we have done that for so long that like we have worried and had anxiety about money so that we could leave an inheritance. And it doesn't say an inheritance of X.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
Leaves-
I've always said that.
leaves-
It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be
Right.
a money inheritance.
Exactly. But, you know, I mean, I can't tell you how many times that we have done something and then, this is stupid, but there are so many times that we have flown our kids first class and we fly coach. And I'm like, why do we do that? And that's great. And it's really nice to honor them. But like, why do we do that?
Right.
I mean, it's to be generous.
Right.
But there is a point where God did give you the money to enjoy, right? And so there's
and we talked about it a little bit before we got on it about this idea, not new, but you'll hear people talk about the prosperity gospel.
Yes.
And they're pretty down on the prosperity gospel. And Sean and I have talked a lot about it, that I don't know if we should be that negative on the prosperity gospel, in the sense that we can't use God as just, I'm going to get closer to God so that I get more stuff
Yes,
or more
right.
money or more fame or more success, which is kind of when we were
Yes.
talking about Creed. Like Creed, you can't only
Yeah.
love God because you think you're going to get out of this situation, right? You got to love God because you love God.
Right.
And so prosperity gospel is wrong in that way if you're looking at it. But there is also some really biblical truths to an abundant life. And that doesn't always just mean money.
Right.
But it can mean.
Yeah, it's part of it.
And
it's part of the
there is
equation.
this concept of wealth creation for wealth sharing. The way God designed it is, I need you to make money so you can give money to the widows
Yes.
and to the poor and to the orphans and
Right.
to build businesses and to
Yeah.
create my kingdom on earth. And you have to have money to do that. So there is a prosperity concept in the sense that God owns it all and he wants us to have it so we can do good.
Yeah. And that we can create experiences that we do together
Right.
to glorify him, right? I have all these verses. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance.
Right.
And that is partial. My struggle is more like, I didn't grow up like with lots and lots of money. And, it was, like, I struggle with, I shouldn't enjoy it, right? Like it's not here for me to enjoy. It's here because I've made a plan. It's here because I have to leave an inheritance. It's here because we're generous. It's here because of all these things. And like I have some really nice jewelry that Rodney bought me in like happy moments and for whatever reason, right? And like, I'm embarrassed to wear it.
Interesting.
Because I don't want somebody to judge me, right? Number one, I think. But also because it's like, that's not really to
You don't
enjoy.
feel like you
that's
can
for the
enjoy
kids.
that. Yeah.
I have like, that one's going to go to Tatiana. That one's going to go to, that ring's going to go to Katerina. And I think, like, I just think
and isn't that
like they would be so
yeah.
happy if I was enjoying it. But my holdback is like, I shouldn't drive that nice a car because I could give so much of this away. Or, if I sold that ring, like, think about how much money we could give away. And so it's
Interesting. I mean, you watch the Schindler's List. And there's that scene at the end we always showed at Lifework in the generosity session where he's like, I could have done more.
Yeah, could have done more.
If I'd have sold this car,
Yes,
I could have
that's
saved 10
right.
people. If I did,
Yes, exactly.
and there is truth to that.
for sure.
But there is also truth to he is our loving father.
Yeah.
And as a parent,
Right.
you want your kids to enjoy what you've given them and bless them with.
I'm like you, except you could preach. I know the verses.
Right.
You could preach
Right.
that to me all day long.
But doing
and I'm
it
like,
is-
yep, I know, I understand that. And I get dressed and I'm like, I can't wear that.
Shouldn't perpetuate. Wow,
No, I
isn't that
shouldn't wear
crazy?
that. I shouldn't. People are going to think like I'm, bragging.
So if
or-
God was sitting here,
I know.
right, he would be like,
Like this is
my
the
child.
Right.
Like you
enjoy
worked
that.
hard. Enjoy
Right.
this. Yeah.
Right. Enjoy that. But it it brings
The
up
flip side
all
of having the money, right?
all
I
of
have the side of not having it. You have the side of when you do to enjoy it.
But you're great at enjoying it. What you do have, you enjoy. You guys go on
definitely enjoy it. We
vacations.
do.
You guys spend
We
time
no money.
together as a
We
family.
don't plan,
You-
but we enjoy what
right?
we have.
So, we're on the other end of the spectrum, which, Rodney and I haven't been away together since we went to Israel in 2019, just the two of us, because we have stuff to do, and we're
funny?
saving, and we've got to get this kid through this, and we got to get that kid through that, and it's like, so we do the
Right,
opposite.
opposite.
So but the
Still
root
the
of it,
money
the root of
is
it,
money,
the root
right?
of the problem is
Money.
the money. So, and we could wrap this up, but I mean, I think there's so many verses, but I did love a wise woman builds her house. And I think that is a great place for us to start, like building our house, understanding when we talked about our goals and wisdom, like understanding like our financials and saying, we probably, opposite of you guys, we probably have to have a fund bucket. And every new money that comes in, half of it we're going to spend on doing something fun.
Right.
Because we
Right.
have a tendency not to do that. Rodney and I spend it 3 times over, but that's going to go to income taxes, that's going to go to insurance, we're going to get a new roof, so that's going to go to that, that's going to go to that, and it's gone. We're like, oh, well, can't have any fun, right? And so, I think it's building your house is it's your home, but it's also your financial house. It's also your spiritual home. It's like, it's so many things that I think we have to take the time to build that and build it well. And God will reward that abundance because we're making a plan, right? Whether it's a financial plan, whether it's, I'm going to read the Bible
fun
in a
plan,
year,
right?
whether it's a fun plan, whatever it is, it's, I think God will reward the abundance if we build it well.
I think knowing it and doing it obviously
Yes.
are two other things for both of us, but it speaks to your personal relationship with Jesus. Even when it comes to your money.
Yeah.
Like literally relinquishing it, whatever it is,
Right.
you know, and let the Holy Spirit lead you in. I need to not worry about the money. I need to trust the Lord about the money. I need to let go of my past
Yeah, our
failures
history.
of money.
Right.
You need to let go of the I've got a plan for my future money, right? I mean,
It's the
and
same
it's
thing.
individualized
It's trust
for
and
each
control.
of us, and it's knowing the Lord well enough, which goes back to knowing God and fearing the Lord, which is what we keep coming back to in even your money. And I have to have a more open conversation with the Lord about it.
Yeah.
He already knows. It's not like it's shocking to him. You know,
what-
like,
I
oh,
know.
gee, Tammy, you have money issues, right? I mean, he knows that.
But it comes down to, like, it always comes back to, I don't trust the Lord about money any more than you do.
Nope, just in different ways.
Right? Just in different ways. Because I think, oh, well, you know, we can't
I gotta
spend it
plan
on
it
fun.
here and go here and have this done and-
I've done all the things that the verses say that are like, make a plan, stick to it. You've done all the things that are like, oh,
Don't make a plan, don't
we
budget, don't be
we can go
diligent.
on vacation.
Let's build a bigger
have
house
to,
than
we
we
have
should.
to enjoy
Right.
we have to enjoy the experience. We have to spend time as a family. So, you know, I think everybody's got money issues. So I think that's, I guess, like, to me, the bottom line is, and what we talk about at Legacy, there's money messages that you're receiving or that you're giving, no matter what you do. It's
And I gave bad money messages to my kids already.
Yeah.
Like I can see them
Right.
now as they're becoming an adult, that I have not fostered good money messages in them.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm going to send them to you.
Well, I mean, but that's what I love about what we do is the education of the second and third generations that we're doing. I love the 12-year-old coming in here with $1,200 and us saying, so, you know, are you going to call us in 2 weeks and say you want to buy something? And she's like, no, this is for, so when I'm an adult and have to pay for things myself, I have enough money. And I'm like, all right, like, you can now teach our
put your-
classes
right, I'll put your
to our
$1,200
to our
cash.
70-year-old,
Right.
you know, because but she's very biblically based, you know.
Well,
So,
and I think to our listeners,
yeah,
you're all probably
all in one
there.
camp or the
I
other.
don't know. You could be all the way on this side, all the way on this side. You can have money might not be your thing. Like
Yeah.
if Sean was sitting here as my husband, he would not have the same conversation about our money as I'm having because it hasn't impacted him the same way.
Right.
Money is not his thing. He is like,
Yeah.
you can take it all, you can spend it, you can save it. I don't ca-" like. It's just not.
But do you think part of that is also because he's trying to offset you a little bit?
Probably because
Yeah.
he knows it's my thing.
Because he knows it's your thing, so he's just like,
it's not a big
honey,
deal. God's
it's
got
okay.
it. Yeah,
God's got, like,
probably.
he knows all the right verses to say too.
Yeah,
like he's
probably.
protecting you a little bit.
Probably, but it's just. I mean, he has things that are his things. Money just is not
Yeah,
his.
yeah.
He would be perfectly content if we never had any.
Yeah.
He doesn't. It doesn't drive him. He's way more generous than me. He
Yeah.
doesn't fear not having it.
Right.
It's just not his thing. So I do think there are some personality
For sure.
things that
For sure.
weigh in it. But as listeners, I'm sure you're somewhere in the gamut with
Right.
it. I'd love to hear your money tips
Yeah, we would
or
take
money
any.
failures.
I've
We've shared ours.
and money messages.
Money
that you
messages,
think
yeah.
you had, or we are going our legend. We have two legends.
I'm excited about
from Legacy Trust next week, and they're going to try to get a little bit practical
Mm-hmm.
with us about what that looks like, how we talk to clients, how we,
good.
you know, sort of say, not as much biblically based, although I feel like it's very biblically based, but more like very practically. I think the right way to do it is biblical, whether you know the Bible or not, right? So you know, I think that we're going to try to address some of like the real issues. Like, how do you actually, like, what does this look like in real life? Do I put an app on my phone that tracks everything and I can bucket it? And, you know, what do I do? Do I save 50% of new money coming in? Or, you know, what does it look like? So hopefully, if
That'll be good.
Yeah.
If I'm excited to learn some practical tips. And
yeah, we'll see.
I think at the end of the lesson today in money, the takeaway the takeaway can be, should be, maybe, I don't know. But God is in our money.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he really is. Either end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
When you have
Right.
trust issues, when you don't have enough, when you have too much and don't do it, tithe
Right.
right, or fear it or don't fear it, God's in the money.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
just like he's in everything
like
else.
he's in
though.
everything else.
Like, I
Yeah.
think you can substitute, if it's not, money's not your issue, it's, you know, the love of time
Right.
is the root.
Right.
Right. I mean, like, I think money seems to be the thing that's the majority of people struggle with, but you can substitute the word and still, it's the thing that you love, right? I mean, you do marriage counseling where you
Right.
say, like, if the love of your spouse is so deep that you can't live without them, you have to start with Jesus. Like,
Right.
you got to back yourself up to Jesus. And this is the same thing.
Same
We
thing.
just have to back ourselves up to Jesus and say, what did he do for me? Right? I mean, I think it's,
But God is in the money. He is
God's
in the money.
He's in the
And
money.
that is, it's like one of the topics. Like, you don't talk about money, you don't talk about religion, you don't talk about politics.
Right,
Like,
right.
money is one of those topics that we don't talk enough about it
for sure.
with God in it.
Yeah.
So it's
And
good
I-
that you do that. You're so good.
Well,
Yeah, you.
Yeah, so good. No, I think that's right. I mean, but also I think, like so many other topics, our parents' generation did not teach us how to talk about it either, right? I mean, our moms didn't tell us about menopause. Our moms didn't tell us about, you know, hot flashes.
My mom
right? She did?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh, my mom didn't.
It was amazing about, good luck, here it's coming, you're going to get this.
Yeah. Well, no, I think when my parents were going through stuff, they had a tendency not to talk about that stuff. So,
Well, and
anyway.
it's funny because I think my kids think I don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, we've had the conversation now.
Yeah.
They're like, you guys need to tell us more. And you shielded us from all this. And I think we think as parents, we're protecting them.
Right.
But
again, that's a money message,
It's a money
right?
message.
Whether you're saying words or not saying words, where you're giving or you're not giving,
Right.
Whether you're receiving or you're giving, like there's money messages.
It
Every
really is.
single thing has a
really
money
is.
message.
It
So,
does.
So, and so many. This is the last thing I'm going to say about money messages, but it's so important to have the communication about it, because if you don't say anything, it's a money message. Like, I can't tell you the kids that I've dealt with in my career that the parents never talked to them about money, and then they died. And then I knew he didn't love me, or I knew he didn't love my wife, because it was never talked about. And we're there saying, we knew your mom and dad, and that was never the intention. It was because they helped you with the down payment on that, and they didn't help the other two kids. And so this was a way to even it out. It's not a love you less thing. And then they go, oh, I forgot about that. But the instantaneous money messages, I knew they didn't love me. I knew they didn't love my wife. I knew they thought my kids were stupid. You know, like what? Like, it's
whatever message
crazy.
they received because
It
they
is
didn't get the money or they didn't
crazy.
get the.
It's crazy because, you know, whatever, parents left their money in trust for them instead of giving it to them outright, and you know, everybody wasn't treated fairly. Like, it's crazy. So communication is like the key, really. Like, even now, saying to your kids, you know, these are the money messages that I have been giving, and I need some forgiveness, and we're gonna talk about money differently, right? I mean, we all have to do those kinds of things. I mean, Rodney and I are like, shoot, if we don't fly first class, our kids will after we're gone, and I don't think they're gonna be all that grateful. So
Right,
like,
right.
I think they're expecting to. Maybe
Yeah.
we should, you know, once in a while we should go high style.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I do have to have some. I like the phrase. I don't use it, and I've not really heard it. Money messages.
yeah,
I don't think my messaging has been good.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been good to my kids. I don't think Sean and I money message well.
yeah, right,
And I don't know if I've money messaged well to myself.
yeah,
Like I don't think I've had. It's just been guilt and condemnation, which
Right.
I can say in every other aspect. Like that's not biblical. That's not God. God doesn't want you to beat
Right.
yourself
He
up
doesn't
over
want you to
that.
feel that way.
But
Right.
boy, can I beat myself up over my
Yeah.
bad money choices.
Right.
Like so, I don't think I've even told myself the right money messages.
Yeah.
I need a new
yeah,
money message board.
right, right, exactly, right. And it can start with some biblical phrases, which actually I wouldn't, just saying, because yes, that's it. They should be biblically based, but I also think these verses are so rote to some of us that they don't mean anything.
They're not as impactful.
Right. I mean, you sort of go, yeah, I know what that says. Like you finish the sentence and you're like, yeah, I know that that's going to say. So anyway, the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance. So we're on a path to an abundant life.
An abundant life with better money messages.
Yeah. Think about the messages you're going to be able to give your grandkids.
I gotta go have a talk.
Yeah.
I want to talk to Sean, kids,
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
Money messages.
Yeah. So,
It's good.
okay.
Thanks.
Here we go. Cheers.
All right.
Yeah. This could have used a margarita.
I'm gonna go get a margarita now.